So,
So, Steve, I talk to leaders all the time, and I want you to talk a bit about what gets in the way of collaboration in schools, and then what suggestions do you have for tackling some of these predictable obstacles?
oh, because I love it, my passion, right? So, I think the problem with collaboration right now is leaders who are too implicit about what they want teachers to talk about.
Mhm.
Unless the leaders are completely explicit and they work off a leadership clarity framework about what they want, you're going to have people just fill in the gaps because they're not really quite sure what the ultimate goal of the collaboration would be. And to me, the ultimate goal of the collaboration would be is to reflect on our practice and improve on it, not grade students because we gave them assessment. That would be academic malpractice. If I was actually having a pre and post assessment cycle, I would want my leader to tell me the reason why we're doing this is because the results of those assessments are more of a reflection of the teacher's effort than the students. That's, I want that kind of clarity. And I want to know, when are we meeting and how are we meeting, and what is the expectation. Many teachers I work with right now, Dr. Brown, are telling me if the principal would just tell us what they want, we'll do it. They're literally begging for clarity about how to do this. The other obstacles for leaders is that they have to actually weed their own garden. I think sometimes our
Mm.
principals, and you know this, have way too many responsibilities. Now, you've seemed how to figure it out. Now, I can tell you, Dr. Brown is very good at tackling main heavy lifting problems, but she also has an amazing group around her that can be delegated to help. I don't think Dr. Brown shoulders every single emergency in that building. I think what happens is that she has this amazing model. Oh yes, distributive leadership. So thank you. I watched them work together. They're a tight group of people, and they fill in for each other. But I think if we have leaders who are not humble enough to recognize that they can't do it all, then they become so overworked and busy they have no time to lead instructionally. And to me, I think if a leader is going to have a conversation with a teacher, I think 80% of it should be instructionally focused every day, all day long. Those
Mhm.
are the types of things. So I think sometimes leaders need to look at what they're practicing and understand some things have more impact than others. I can tell you again, like when I work with Dr. Brown's school, Dr. Brown is at the table for every single session I conduct. The optics are amazing. When the principal sits at the same table where the teachers are getting professionally developed, the message is, I'm going to be just as good at this as you are. And I want you to come to me as a source of inspiration and support. So I think leaders also know that they have to learn with their faculty and staff, not sponsor learning for them and leave the room. And so this is huge for me because Vivienne Robinson said the effect size of leaders who learn with teachers could be up to a 0.84, which means that would actually exceed 83% of the schools that didn't have a leader that learned with their staff. So I feel like I
Wow.
think leadership and with professional development means that Dr. Brown doesn't have her nose buried in her laptop when I'm there. The laptops are closed. The conversation is robust. The principal asks clarifying questions and then gives time for the people that she leads the opportunity to talk about, well, how would we implement this and get this going? So I think, Dr. Brown, you live it. I watched you. I'm inspired by the way you lead the school. You don't get the results because it was lucky. I think there was an intentional leadership plan there. And
Thank
so I feel like our leaders have to be way more explicit, Katie, about what they want our faculty to be doing. And then most faculty are dying for clarity. They literally are starving for it.